Well, guess what? Claudine Gay, who's, made comments such as this when she's testifying before Congress. And where is it? Let's try that again. Here we go.
Action has been taken against students who are harassing and calling for the genocide of Jews on Harvard's campus.
I can assure you we have robust
What
disciplinary
actions have been
processes
taken? I'm not
with
asking.
actions underway.
I'm asking what actions have been taken against those students.
Given students' rights to privacy and our obligations under FERPA, I will not say more about any specific cases other than to reiterate that processes are ongoing.
And you thought with that she might be fired because the president of University of Pennsylvania was fired for her comments, same comments, pretty much, defending Hamas and having Jewish students in their schools run for cover. But there's a plagiarism that happened. In her dissertation, she plagiarized other people, and guess what they're doing?
What's that?
They're letting her redo her dissertation so that she can add attribution to the parts where she plagiarized. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it'll make sense. Is she black or white?
She's black.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it makes a lot more sense now.
Okay. All right. With more on this, let's welcome back our very good friend, Dominic Green. You know him. You'll love him. He's a columnist for the Washington Examiner, contributor to the Wall Street Journal, and a fellow of, are you ready? The Royal Historical Society. Hello, Dominic. How are you?
Hello, Amy. Hello, John.
Hello.
We'll get into the Royal Historical Society later and see if we can become members. But what do you make of this Claudine Gay, and are people talking about this across the pond?
They are. I think the whole world is watching, which is one reason why it's so damaging that Harvard have not done the obvious thing and admit to having made a mistake. The problem is, and everybody sees this, that she is a symbol of a deeper problem and a bigger mistake, which is replacing merit with DEI. And the image of a university where every race is represented and so on, it can be manufactured two ways. You can either bring people in on genuine merit, or you can fake it. And what has happened here is that it has been, and the result is you have an incompetent president. And the moment a serious inspection was made of how she got to this, prestigious position, well, it all collapsed. And there are dozens of accusations of plagiarism, and it's become so obvious that now even the New York Times has had to admit that this is what has happened.
Wow.
So I imagine at some point in the next few weeks, Claudine Gay will step down, and she'll say she's doing it to protect the institution against the attacks of MAGA fanatics and right-wing media and so on.
Really? So you really think she'll step down like the president of Penn did?
Yes, I think she will. And I think that Harvard don't want to be pushed into this by public opinion, let alone the people they hate most on earth, who are conservatives. They will walk it at their own pace, is my understanding. But the donors are walking in the opposite direction, and Harvard is a business, and they will be acutely aware. The board are now trying to balance two very different priorities. One is to raise money, and the other is DEI. And, you know which way it's going to go in the long run. But as I said, they're not going to look like they're being pushed.
I absolutely love the first line of your article. You wrote, the hedge fund finishing school that is Harvard, in the Washington Examiner. You can read it at WashingtonExaminer.com. You wrote, how do you know if someone you've just met went to Harvard? They'll tell you in the first 2 minutes. Where did you get that joke? So you're not accused of plagiarism.
That is people tell in Britain. Yeah, they tell us in Britain about people who went to Oxford, because they always make sure to mention it, in the first phase of a conversation with them. So, but I plagiarized that joke.
Okay.
And I confessed to it. I signaled it in advance. And, I passed through the academy. It sounds like a kidney stone, but I did. I passed through the academy, and the one thing they're meant to teach you is you do your footnotes and you make your attributions. But Claudine Gay actually seems to have plagiarized not just the material in her doctoral thesis, but even the thank you phrasing in the acknowledgements.
She
so,
plagiarized the acknowledgments too?
Yes, yeah. So, and being allowed a redo is really shocking because she has presided over the expulsion, I believe, of 17 students for plagiarism in their undergraduate essays. And as we all know, if you bust people for that, you can't really then keep on the president of the institution who's conducted plagiarism on a scale and getting rewards for it. It's just unimaginable by comparison to the average student essay.
Wow. Now I wanted to move over to Hunter Biden. Are you discussing this? Because, I'm sure you're well aware that he skipped out on or blew off or gave the finger to Congress for his testimony. He was subpoenaed. And guess what? He was on Marine One the other day, coming back from Delaware, where he went shopping with his father, but he wasn't on the flight log. So do you think President Biden is harboring a fugitive, or they're in on this together for him to blow off this congressional subpoena? I mean, I was shocked when he got off the plane and then he walked into the White House. No one's going to go into the White House and grab him and take him out.
Well, again, it's this question of the impression and the reality. I don't doubt for a second that the president is deeply concerned about his son, and I don't doubt either that the people around the president are acutely aware that Hunter Biden remains a serious liability, not least because the president is intending to run again in 2024. So yes, from what I hear, that he's basically being tucked away in places where you can't reach him with a subpoena, such as inside the White House or on Air Force One. I'm obviously very concerned about what happens and what this is going to mean. Very disrupted way of living. What's this going to mean for Hunter's career as a painter?
Oh, right.
Oh.
A first time artist gets a gallery and a showing in Soho. I mean, come
exactly.
on.
And he was charging $500,000 a painting. This was one of the most promising career starts anyone has made in the art business since Picasso took up his brush.
But
from $0 to $500,000 a painting, and suddenly he's not doing it anymore. So I'm very concerned. It must be very difficult.
Yeah, I wonder what happened where he started. Like now is the time, when you're grieving or you're scared is when you want to express yourself and you want to paint, right?
Well, we've seen quite a lot about how Hunter likes to express himself. So he works across video, paint, mixed media.
Oh, my God. I mean, but you think about President Biden, obviously his son had jobs that he had that weren't really jobs. But why would you give a crack addict access to millions of dollars? Doesn't that say a lot about a lack of character for President Biden, then VP at the time?
It does. And my assumption is this, that in 2016, Joe Biden thought his service was basically over in public life, and it was therefore an opportune moment to fill his boots and fill the family's pockets with one last rampage. And then he couldn't stop himself from running again, and of course that's exposed the family business to public attention. And it doesn't look good. It just mounts up and up and up. And as with the Claudine Gay story, much of the media does its best to ignore this. If you read left-leaning media, you don't really get much coverage of the Senate committee, which is doing extremely forensic work on the Biden family businesses. Eventually, of course, it reaches a point when it actually has to be acknowledged. And that's what I meant about the New York Times acknowledging the Claudine Gay thing actually is a serious thing. And I think eventually, at some point in 2024, it will actually become a general concern. People will not be able to ignore it anymore because it is very serious.
Now, I have a very important question.
Oh, as mine were not important.
No, this is...
oh, dear.
I'm sure the world wants to know this. Now that Prince Charles is King Charles, do you think that he'll bring his child, Prince Harry, back into the fold?
That is, again, one of the major questions which 2024 holds for us all. I think he would like to. And I think, given the way that Harry's business ventures have been going, they've all gone a bit Hunter Biden, it may be in his interest too as well. I don't know if Meghan would like to. She's just relaunched her career with this coffee ad. The problem is the royal family is basically a charity which pays its officers extremely well. So you can't really do business at the same time. And one thing you can't do is the other kind of show business at the same time, because they are also, performing on their own with their own scripts. But I think it would happen, and it would probably be something that everyone in Britain would, suddenly be very happy about, because people like to see a family reunited.
Well, do they talk at all? Does he talk to his older brother? I mean, they were so close, and it breaks my heart that a woman ruined it.
It is sad. It is very sad, and apparently they don't really talk much. The odd text message or something, but no, it's very sad that they're estranged, and people go through this. Normal people too. It happens to everyone, and often it works itself out over time. And you'd hope in this case that it will.
Now, the last season of The Crown is out, and I was wondering.
I love that show.
Oh, this is it. I watched the first half. I have not seen this. Don't tell me how it ends.
Okay.
But have you been watching it? I know. I'm just trying to be funny. But did you think it was true to form?
Well, actually, I did spend a substantial part of yesterday evening lolling on the sofa watching Series 6. And I have to say, I enjoyed it. It seemed to me that they really caught it. And I think particularly Sam West, as Charles, is really very good.
Yes.
He brings a lot to it. So I'm enjoying it. And as always, I can tell you, as a fellow of the Royal Historical Society, that everything you see is completely as it happened.
Oh, yeah, right. No, but I will tell you this. I have more compassion for Prince Charles after watching The Crown, because I didn't like him at first, but now I'm understanding him more, and I hope that wasn't all a bag of lies that they portrayed on him. But he seemed like a decent father, and he was trying,
I think so. I think also compared to, how his own father's generation did their parenting, I think he has tried, and I think he's learnt on the job, and probably does have big regrets about how things went.
All right.
Well, I was looking for
make the best of it.
Really quickly, I actually had the former police chief of, I don't know, he worked with the Royal Guards or something, commented on my Facebook page a couple of days ago. Yeah.
What?
And sent me a friend request. And he and I have been talking. We talked over the phone. I thought it was just pretty cool. He said that there was like I don't know, he was a chief of police somewhere close to the castle. And they had to, every time the Queen gets sick, and I want to know if this is true, that they had to dust off whatever the protocols if she had died. Is that true?
Yes, it is. That one was called, they had code names which were named after
Yes, that's what he told me.
And she was London Bridge. Yeah, that's right. Every time they get a cold.
Pretty cool.
I can't tell you more because I'm sworn to secrecy as a member
Anytime
of
she
the
got sick.
Historical Society.
Okay, so this Royal Historical Society, how did you join this group?
I can't tell you that.
Oh.
That's like
Bones.
Claudine Gay telling the truth to a congressional committee.
Okay.
We have processes.
Okay.
No, what it is, it's a if you do some pointless academic research that no one ever reads, then they allow you in. That's it basically. It literally is a society of historians, and they have a royal warrant, which in Britain, if you make butter or cheese or shirts or whatever, you can get a royal warrant, which means that they approve of you.
Wow.
So whether they still approve
Fancy.
after this remains to be seen.
All right. Dominic Green, you could follow him on Twitter at Dr. Dominic Green. Columnist for the Wall Street Examiner, contributor to the Wall Street Journal, and fellow of the Royal Historical Society. Do you like my British accent? Oh, that's really,
Very
really
good. Your Majesty.
Oh boy, I had to work on that. All right, thanks. Thank you, Dominic. Have a wonderful holiday season. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I love giving jewelry as a gift. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. I want to tell you that Roland's Jewelers is the perfect place for that magical holiday gift for